And a good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Dutch and Draco. My name's Julian and I'll be your captain tonight. I hope you're very excited because we will be doing some very special landing drills tonight, which involves a Harrier and the Stennis. We are aiming to stick to the circuit shown on the right hand side, which involves landing and taking off on both ends of the Stennis. As you suspect, landing on the Stennis head-on poses an entirely different challenge to simply chasing it down, mainly because this big ship travels at around 50-something kilometers an hour, which means that the landing itself needs to be done entirely differently. Okay, we are ready to take off. We are just looking at adding water to the jets, which basically lowers the temperature of the two rear hot jets. It doesn't add any extra power, it just keeps us safe. In theory, these drills should teach you just general quick reaction skills, and on top of that, managing to control a sometimes very twitchy Harrier. We will be doing a standard short takeoff, which involves going full speed ahead with nozzles straight back 0 degrees, and as we reach the end of the deck and after picking up enough forward momentum, we will be rotating the nozzles to 60 degrees down. Definitely worth mentioning, we're only carrying very little fuel to allow us good maneuvering on the landings. Okay, brakes on, throttle to maximum, release brakes, keep the nozzles at 0, rotate back, and we're off. It's now time to go over the key element of the HUD that allows me to do good short landings, and that is the velocity vector marker. This marker shows where the aircraft is heading based on its angle of attack, based on airspeed, based on several factors, and as long as you have this set on the deck as you come in for landing, you should be good. There are definitely many other factors that make for a good safe landing, like the vertical speed indicator, the airspeed, the nozzle angle, the flaps, but I'll show you in a minute how I'm mainly using the velocity vector to land safely. We are ready to turn back now as I really miss my Stennis. As we are aligning and approaching the deck, I'm looking to position the velocity vector right around the edge of the deck. And I'm doing that because then it'll just be small throttle corrections to position the velocity vector on top of the deck to line up for a nice soft landing. With this being a head-on landing, be mindful that you're adding your airspeed to the forward speed of the Stennis. And this in itself will create some very unique challenges, as you will see in a few moments. As we are about to touch down, all I'm doing is just some very slight rudder corrections to align the aircraft and changing throttle a bit to keep the velocity vector above the edge of the deck. And there we have it, a safe head-on short landing on the Stennis. Now let's see what happens when you come in at a slightly more pronounced horizontal angle. Do ignore the master caution warning that just shows that we've reached bingo fuel, and I'll turn that off in a second. It's enough to have just an extra few degrees of deviation and you'll feel like the deck is just slipping away from under your gear. And the only fix for that is to simply try and land dead straight, which involves aiming the velocity vector right in between the two catapult lines. Comparing the previous landing to this one, where we're simply chasing down the Stennis, you're probably noticing how much easier this one is. We have a lot more control, considerably more time to simply align everything properly. And again, it's just about the velocity vector, and then secondarily looking at the vertical speed. Setting off one last time in preparation for the last landing of the drill. With this one, we'll try to get almost everything right, from airspeed to nozzle angle to placing that velocity vector right in between the two catapult lines. The closer I'm getting to the deck, the less I would like to use roll to correct the alignment and use rudder inputs instead. Oh, look at that velocity vector, right on the edge of the deck. Minor deviation to the left, but I'm quite happy with this landing. I'm hoping that you found this interesting, entertaining, informative. Now get flying and see you around. Cheers!